From inside the gym at Norwood High School, we say a very good evening, everyone, and welcome to tournament basketball here on RFM. Great to have you along with us as we move to the round of 16 in the Division II MIAA postseason for boys basketball. And tonight, two schools will square off in this round of 16 matchup that, by the numbers, you would say, how did they get here? And that's the story we will endeavor to tell tonight. As Norwood plays host to Leominster, the Mustangs, the 24 seed in Division II. Leominster, the 25 seed, as 24 and 25 down 8 and 9 to get themselves into this round of 16 matchup here tonight. Todd Robbins, great to have you along with us. Bill Thomas alongside as well. Kate Robbins on assignment tonight, and it's great to have you with us here from Norwood. Let's look at the track for these two teams. How did they get here? Well, as you can see in that sort of, we'll call it the south portion of the bracket that we're looking at. It's actually the northwest lower half of the main bracket. Norwood and Leominster find their way here. Leominster had to play an opening round preliminary game against Chicopee Comp. It was an 87-35 victory for Leominster in that contest. Meanwhile, preliminary round matchup for the Mustangs was Ludlow at Ludlow, a 65-31 win for Norwood in that contest. And then they continue on to play the 8 and 9. Norwood downs the 8 seed in Foxborough, the 9 seed in Foxborough by a score of 60-58 in a closely contested contest. And then there's Leominster, who goes to overtime against the 8 seed Wakefield last Friday night to win by a 71-70 margin. A tightly contested contest. We'll have more on that contest coming up in a matter of moments. Tonight's broadcast has been waived. The fees to tonight's cablecast have been waived by the MIAA on behalf of the students of Leominster High School. The MIAA represents nearly 400 senior high schools across the Commonwealth and more than 200,000 young men and women who participate annually in MIAA-governed athletic competition. Any rebroadcast or republication of this program without the written consent of the MIAA is prohibited. You get a look out over the court here in Norwood as the teams get set for action. Leominster and Norwood, a battle of 24 and 25. Get ready here inside the gym tonight. We welcome you high above courtside to our broadcast position above the rail. Todd Robbins, joined as always by Bill Thomas as he wanders into your screen. And Bill Thomas, that's all the preliminaries we need to get across. And we welcome our viewers joining us, whether you're joining us on YouTube, Facebook Live, or Twitch tonight for this round of 16 contest here on RFM. Great to have you along with us here tonight. Settle in for what is going to be an exciting contest. Billy, I said it off the top, 24 and 25. You don't usually expect those two seeds to advance to this point in the tournament because you figure you fall on paper, right? They've been power rated. Power ratings should say that those top 10 schools should be able to make their way deep into the tournament. Well, 8 and 9 are at home, and 24 and 25 do battle tonight. And the winner gets either Malden Catholic, who is the number 1 overall seed in this half of the tournament, or Scituate, who, of course, Leominster did battle with in the round of 8 last year.
Yeah, I think this is a great opportunity for both teams to really show they deserve to be here. An improbable matchup, like you said, Todd, 24 against 25. Both winning big games on the road against lower seeds and doing it in similar fashion, taking control of both games. Norwood took control of their game against Foxborough, held on at the end. A furious comeback by Foxborough. All indications are that, Norwood did just enough at the end to nurse that lead to the buzzer. Leominster, same thing. They took an early lead against Wakefield, back and forth, had a halftime lead, but then nursed that lead through the second half, found themselves a 2-possession game down the stretch, had an answer every time Wakefield came down the court, and withstood the pressure from that furious comeback by Wakefield. So both teams, first-round blowouts, second round hotly contested road games, and so following the same paths. We'll have to see which team shows up tonight and which team is more prepared in this 24 against 25 matchup.
And let's talk a little bit about that matchup between Leominster and Wakefield. Bill Thomas, Leominster went to overtime to do it, and they did some key things in that contest that they have struggled with through the end of the regular season. Hit free throws at crucial moments, and they needed a lot of them down the stretch. Also, they got the baskets and contributions across the board, and that to me is another point that stands out. Yeah, Justin Donna goes on for 29 points and showed up in a big contest to lead this team. That's an important 29, but 13 points from Terrence McCormick. Osiris Lopez comes in off the bench to contribute 10 points. Those are important points in the overall story of how this whole thing developed. For Leominster, it was finally a complete team win, and maybe the last time we saw one of those was back in December.
Yeah, and some of those kids were on the court as that overtime wound down. They played very important roles, in the outcome of that game. And and if you read the story, it looked like it was all Justin Dodd and T-Mac and, tossed in some Osiris. But down the stretch, I was fortunate enough to go to that game, and, Jack Dada, just 2 points on the score sheet, but those 2 points came with 2.3 seconds in a one-possession game. Stretch that lead to 4. Wakefield comes down and hits a buzzer beater to turn it into a 1-point game. No bigger points than those 2 points that Jack Dada scored with 2.3. Doesn't get any mention in the write-up, but I tell you, it might be the 2 biggest points he scores in his basketball career. But for a sophomore to do that, and I'm sure Wakefield, the coaching staff and the bench, when they saw who they were putting at the line during that back and forth down the stretch, they finally got, somebody other than a seasoned senior up there. He got up there and he nailed both foul shots. And, he couldn't feel better for him for the way they closed that game out. I hope that carries over into this game. They showed a lot of poise, a lot of confidence down the stretch. And you're right, it wasn't just the big guys. It was, Dylan Carr and Chase House and some of those guys. Michael Halstead's earned his way back on the court in the latter part of the season. They all stepped up and played a tremendous game.
And now they find themselves in this situation where they've got a team looking across from them. And again, when you say 24 and 25, you would expect that their regular season numbers would be at least similar, maybe in the ballpark of one another. Norwood came into this tournament 16 and 4, and that was only good enough by power rating to be the 24th overall seed, and they had to earn their 24th seed back in the Bill Thomas world because they had to play in that game against Ludlow. I mean, it's just bizarre circumstances where meanwhile Leominster's 10 and 10 coming into the tournament, and that was only good enough to be 25th, and they had to host a play-in game and find their way back into the tournament. The numbers here, when you look at the larger sequence, usually indicate, of course, the difference between, the teams that have progressed over time, have improved over time, play better teams over time. All those things tend to usually work themselves out more so than we see during the football season. But this season, you look at these numbers, it's awfully strange to have two teams, 6-win differential, and that's not good enough to move you further up the board.
Yeah, but I don't think you can just look at the records, Todd. The difference in the margin of victory, it goes a long way towards how your power ratings get established. And if you're playing a lot of close games, even though you're winning those close games, you're not going to build up those numbers. You're not getting those 10 and 20-point blowouts. So, that might have played a factor in a 16 and 14 being ranked so far down when it came to that 32-plus, the play-ins. But, they got that home game. They would have been on the road if they were 24 and there wasn't beyond that. So they did get a home game. They got tuned up, and they took that tune up to Foxborough and took it right to them. So, and the same thing with Leominster. They started out, set the world on fire the first half of the season, kind of fell on hard times, turned into a 500 team down the stretch. But they had that tune-up against a team that played its way in according to the rules, used it as a good tune-up, nice 50-point blowout, and then took that momentum into that higher-ranked team in Wakefield and really showed them what a 10-10 team can do.
You talked about, of course, the kind of the matchup between Norwood and Foxborough in the previous round, and they had to withstand that late charge that you pointed out as well from a quality team. But this is where experience plays in. You got 4 out of 5 seniors in your starting lineup. That's great. You got more seniors coming in off the bench, but there's a wall full of senior photos there on the end line.
Do they really have that many
inside
seniors?
Inside the gym.
4 starters in there, first and second guys off the bench, and both seniors, I think. So you're spot on, Todd. They don't lose anything experience once they start getting into the seats over there. And I'm not sure how deep they go, but talked about contributors. The coach did about contributors points-wise and rebounding-wise off the bench. So Leominster's going to have to match up. They're going to have to match out substitutions. Hopefully they won't lose that substitution game.
And you talk about Coach Chris Fraioli, who has taken on this Norwood team. First season here at Norwood, 21st season in coaching. He did 20 years at Dedham High School before coming over here as well.
Close, right?
It is right next door.
Right as the boundary south.
And you got to imagine that opportunity to work with senior leadership, to work with players who you know are right there on the cusp. This is a special run. They want to take this further, and that means going through Leominster tonight.
Oh, I'm sure he knew the situation he was getting into and how deep and of an experienced team. He's talked about this team has been state tournament tested in the past, so it's nothing new for these seniors to be at this level. I believe they've been Sweet 16 or even Elite 8 in the past years, so these kids have experience for Norwood. We'll have to see if that experience pays off or some of the lack of experience, but the youthful exuberance that the Leominster Blue Devils have shown the past couple of games, if that prevails tonight.
And let's talk keys to the game, Bill Thomas. We're at that point, about 6 minutes from tip-off when we've got the 24 versus 25 here on RFM. The MIAA and the great folks here at Norwood can't say thank you enough for their tremendous cooperation. Jack Tolman and the folks at Norwood Community Media, phenomenal hosts here tonight, and the great folks in the administration here at Norwood as well.
Great spot
us,
up on the balcony here,
high above courtside,
gave us
over
everything
the rail.
we needed. The internet couldn't be more cooperative.
Could not say enough great things about the kinds of hosts they are. And now let's talk a little bit about the action here as we get closer and closer to Norwood and Leominster. In your mind, for Norwood to come out with a victory tonight, what's the key, Bill Thomas, for Norwood?
Well, I think the key is that they got a global Scholastic All-American in Burdett, and he's really got to step up and be the team leader like he has been. But it's really going to flow through him. If he can start making his shots, and I think he had high 20s against Foxborough, 29 or 30. Then he takes the pressure off the rest of the team, and we'll have to see how they come out if everything seems to flow through him. We haven't seen this team. I don't even know who's who. I wish they'd put numbers on their warm-up, so we could. But they look. Norwood looks very athletic. Going to have to zero in on that key senior, though. He's a Globe Scholastic All-American for a reason. I think Leominster's going to have to concentrate. We'll still have to see what they do defensively to match up with him, and I think that's where it's going to start for Leominster.
Let's talk about the other side of the coin, and the other side of the coin is the Leominster team that has been, Jekyll and Hyde throughout the year. First half of the year, absolutely brilliant. Second half of the year, couldn't do a lot of things right consistently. All of a sudden in the postseason, everything is moving the way that they would like to see develop. What does it take for Leominster to get out of here and get another shot either at Scituate or the number 1 overall seed in Malden Catholic?
Well, we've seen the team hang around and wait for Dada to get his 25 and 30 points, and sometimes the rest of the team tends to fall asleep. I think the other night, T-Mac stepped up nice. He had double digits off the bench of Cyrus Lopez, but, I think a lot of it's in the middle, how Chase and Dylan step up in the middle, look for those offensive rebounds. They can't give up on the shots. They got to stay home under the basket. If at least there's some fast breaks going the other way, fine, but I really think controlling the boards offensively, get some putbacks, and try to shut down whatever Norwood wants to do. They're good. We know they can score points. They got some kids that got a lot of experience. I expect they're probably going to run a little bit, but that's where offensive rebound is going to be very important. And the outside shoot is they got to make their shots. I think, we see Dada with his 25 points, but I think T-Mac is really important. If he comes out and hits a couple of threes early on, it just loosens up the rest of the offense. And off the bench, is it Jake? Trying to think this. Jayden Johnson,
yes,
brings a lot of energy. I think he's going to be a key to the game tonight. We've really seen how he cemented his role off the bench in the second half of the season.
It's great to be back in the saddle and on the air here on RFM. Postseason basketball coming your way. Cannot tell you how difficult it was for the two of us and Kate not to be able to be on the air with you on Friday night. We certainly wanted to be there. We did everything we possibly could to be there. Leominster's administration did everything they possibly could to support us being there. Unfortunately, it takes two in order to make cooperation work, and unfortunately didn't pan out. But we're here tonight, and we've got action for you. It's Leominster and Norwood, the 24 versus 25. Tip-off coming up here on RFM. You stay with us as we get ready for postseason basketball. It's 24 versus 25, the round of 16, and it comes your way next here on RFM. Opening introductions and the national anthem on deck. But this contest today is brought to you by the Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association, the MIAA. This association is responsible for governing, coordinating, and promoting educational athletics and aims to provide student athletes with the best high school experience possible. The MIAA stresses the values of interscholastic athletics, from discipline and commitment to sportsmanship and teamwork. Visit the MIAA website today at MIAA.net and explore all that they have to offer. Again, that's MIAA.net. The Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association, building the future through interscholastic athletics. Final moments here before the opening tip-off. And let's join the public address announcer here inside the gym at Norwood tonight for the opening introductions and the national anthem.
Sweet 16 basketball tournament between the visiting Blue Devils of Leominster and your Norwood Mustangs. And just a reminder to the student athletes, coaches, and contest officials that work diligently for tonight's contest. Please show respect for all in attendance by showing good sportsmanship. And now let's meet the starting lineups. First, for the visiting Blue Devils, a junior number 4, Terrence McCormick. A senior number 11, Justin Dada. Senior number 12, Michael Halstead. Number 21, senior Ricky Encarnacion. And senior number 25, Dylan Carr. And head coach is Mr. Kevin Crutchfeld. And now the starting lineup for Norwood Mustangs. Senior number 00, Nick Nemescal. Junior number 10, Maddie Mahoney. Senior number 12, Dylan Hathaway. And senior number 14, Noah Cortez. And senior number 23, Casey Sheehan. The head coach of the Mustangs is Chris Fraioli. And at this time, we would ask that you please rise. Remove your hats as we honor America and those that serve to protect her with a blanket playing of our national anthem.
And the road to the state championship comes to you here on RFM tonight through our partners at the MIAA. And this round of 16 matchup is going to be a dandy. 24th ranked Norwood here through a win over Foxborough by a 60-58 margin, and a 71-70 win in overtime for Leominster sets up a 24-25 matchup. And Bill Thomas, we are as ready as we will ever be. Final thoughts before the tip-off of Norwood and Leominster.
Well, I'm interested to see how Leominster slows down this senior-laden starting lineup. And I'm looking around at all these banners, and I just realized Norwood was a Final Four finalist last year, so these kids definitely have tournament experience.
Dylan Carr gets the start tonight for Leominster. Tip-off is controlled by the Mustangs. They will go left to right, wearing the home white tops, white bottoms, trimmed in a sky blue front and back. Mustangs in script, front and along the back nameplate, and a skid of the pivot foot from Maddie Mahoney crossing the foul line. It's a traveling violation, and the ball will go back the other way. 15 seconds into this one, and the first turnover on the opening possession.
We'll have to see if that's an indication how close these officials are going to call this game tonight.
Justin Donna, Terrence McCormick, Michael Halstead, Ricky Encarnacion, Dylan Carr, the starting five for Leominster, wearing the royal blue tops, royal blue bottoms, trimmed in black and white. Numerals front and back. Leominster arched across the chest. The running devil over the L on either side of the shorts. Left elbow jumper for Carr doesn't go. Donna crashes on the rebound and gets pushed into the restraining wall. He is fouled. The basket won't fall, and Donna's going to the line to shoot two.
Quick offensive rebound, staying home right there, getting inside position. Gets it right back up, all in one motion, picks up the foul.
And Donna's first will drop. Two of two on the trip, and Leominster draws the opening points, 2-0. Two free throws from Justin Donna. 50 seconds into the opening quarter, and a 2-0 Leominster lead. Second possession here for the Mustangs. Leominster with smothering defense, Bill Thomas. That man-to-man looks intense tonight. The drive for Bodette down the lane doesn't go. Crash on the rebound. Carr got a piece of it, and the Mustangs keep the basketball. They get a fresh 35.
Yeah, and I like this swarming all the way past beyond the three-point arc, Todd. Don't let them hoist anything up there. Get a rhythm going. Play defense all the way out to half court if you have to.
Mahoney looks for the inbound, floats for Casey Sheehan, and they'll swing the basketball for Hamway. Hamway, the left-hand dribble, swing it into the left corner, Sheehan. Sheehan and Hamway play catch. Now Mahoney, the drive, stop in the lane, kick back. Hamway, three-pointer, and he delivers. And Norwood claims the lead, 3-2. This is Halstead. Halstead working with the left-hand dribble. Drives left side of the arc, drop it off for McCormick. Entry pass, Dada. One bounce to the lane, takes it strong and wins the lay-in.
Favorite area, left side of the lane. Does his best work over there.
Bill Thomas, what has got into Justin Donna? This is the player we all knew he could be, but it's the player that struggled to come out in the last month of the season.
Well, after hearing the coach talk, I think the coach has been challenging him a little more to take a little more leadership role. It's not just about scoring points, Todd.
The jumper for Bodette will go. Back and forth we go. 5-2 Mustang, 5-4 Mustangs over Blue Devils here in the first quarter. 5:55 and counting. Dada straight take down the lane, and the angle will go. Bill Thomas, a week ago, that wasn't falling.
And you're right, Todd, but I think he's a little renewed confidence, too, from Justin. Getting rid of that 1,000-point mark hanging over your head. I'm sure played with him a little bit, but really showing his skills.
Bodette with a crossover drive. He gets sandwiched and taken to the deck, and Bodette's got 2 shots coming up.
You know, and I really think it's about team leadership and stepping up and leading the way. And, yeah, scoring points is nice, but taking charge, too, sometimes has more value than just scoring points.
Noah Bodette, the senior, at the line. First one hard off the back rim. 5:37 to play in the opening quarter. Leominster's lead is 6-5, and back and forth we have gone.
Noah coming off a 20-plus point night against Foxborough.
And he'll get the second one to drop. We're tied at 6. Here's Halstead with the ball half circle. Tries to snap one to Ricky Encarnacion and got belted into the Mustang bench. Leominster keeps the basketball, 26 to shoot, 5:27 to play in the opening quarter. Carr with the bounce to Halstead. Halstead with the left-hand take, working on Hamway down the lane. Basket's good, and a foul.
You know, and that's something we haven't seen from Halstead, taking charge. He's been running the point. He's earned his starting job back, as the point guard, but not real aggressive, really just running things from the top of the key, but a little more of that, and that's really going to loosen things up.
Horn and a substitution, even though the ball was given to Halstead for the follow-on.
Inadvertent horn right there. You don't want to interrupt the foul.
Yeah, it's a shooter situation, so they'll send Haas back to the line.
Halstead,
chance to complete a 3-point play. 5:23 to play in the opening quarter. Deep knee bend, and Halstead rattles that one down, and the whistle and the substitution now. 9-6 Leominster with the opening lead. 5:23 to play here in the first quarter. Mahoney with the basketball. Junior crosses the timeline. He'll swing it to Hamway. Now reverse direction. Put it in the hands of Bodette. The right-hand drive on Encarnacion. Shorted the lay-in and the rebound for Dada.
Nice job. Used the baseline very effectively also.
Dada to Carr. Tries to bullet it back to Encarnacion. Battle for the basketball. Tied up in the feet, and that one rolls out of play and will stay with Leominster in 26 to shoot. 5:01 to play in this opening frame. Carr bounces it for Halstead. Halstead's going to cycle this one back to the top of the key. Look to reverse direction. Nobody on the left side of the floor. He'll take it all the way across to the right. For Dada. Dada sees open baseline drive. Scoop shot, and that one didn't fall. And that's what Dada had to combat for the last month of the season.
Too much air in the basketball, Todd. Too many bounces.
As Mahoney will put the kick to Sheehan. Now cycle the basketball for Hamway. Swing back Mahoney. Mahoney crosses. Halstead drive. That one will not go. The lay-in short and Dada the rebound. Stuck at 9-6, 4.5 to play here in the first. Carr gets the handoff from Chase Hawes in at the last whistle. Dada the bounce, Encarnacion. Quick touch, find Halstead. Halstead left baseline drive, reverse, misses everything through the legs of Encarnacion. Carr gets the lay-in, spins through, and it goes.
Yeah, Dylan Carr says, look what I found. Had his back to the basket. Good presence of mind where he was to take his time, get turned around, get a good look at the basket.
Accidental offense, Exhibit A. Halfway through this opening stanza, 11-6 Leominster's advantage. The bounce to the foul line, jumper, and down it goes. Smooth sailing there for Noah Bodette, who elevated from the foul line.
That's what made him a Globe All-Scholastic All-American. Shots like that, finding his spot and hitting them.
Dada the drive goes cross paint, and that one is picked off an ill-advised pass as Mahoney will bring it across the timeline from left to right. Cue up a Hamway three. That one caught front rim. Carr tapped the rebound to Dada.
Slowing it down here a little bit.
And Dada will hand it off to Halstead. 3:18 to play in the opening quarter. Halstead, the left-hand drive, bounce for Hawes. Hawes now waits for some help. Denies the basketball, brings it back to the top. Drops it off for Dada. Dada's now directing traffic. He'd like a screen. Haas sets the screen, roll off, foul line, space for Encarnacion. 8 to shoot now. Tries to go back to Haas at the foul line. Now 5 to shoot, and Donna out at the half circle midcourt. 4 to shoot. Now 2. Donna's jumper from the foul line. Tried to body English it in. It will not go. And out of play. They say last touch by Dylan Carr. And Coach Crutchfield not thrilled with the ruling from the sideline.
Yeah, it looked like the Norwood player had the position, had the ball in his fingertips, but good defense right there. Nobody wanted to take that shot for the Blue Devils. Everybody kept turning down that 10-footer until Justin got stuck with it 30 feet away from the basket.
Can certainly see the defenses setting up along the blocks. 2:35 to play in the first quarter. 11-8 Leominster's advantage. The drop off now. Here's the drive. This is Bodette. Plays off Haas, and the jumper drops.
Nice switch there. Using the screen very effectively.
Halstead for Osiris Lopez. Spins off the body, missed the shot. Haas slapped it back to the backboard, played it to himself, not able to finish the follow-on. Pinball makes it back to Lopez. Another jumper won't go. 5th opportunity, wide open McCormick 3, and he buries it.
Talk about offensive rebound and fill the stat sheet up right there, Todd.
5 opportunities on a possession. Somebody has got to finish it for Leominster.
Doesn't help your field goal percentage, but they finally found a way to the hoop.
Leominster reclaims a 4-point lead. The response opportunity is off target for Bodette, and Haas has got the rebound.
And that looked like a frustration 3 right there. He wanted to get those 3 back after missing on an offensive rebound.
Haas into the open floor. He sought out contact from Ilongo and then spun off for the lay-in. Pretty move for the big man moving in the open floor. Off-angle response, and down that one will go for Matty Mahoney.
Both teams having a great first quarter here.
Indeed they are. Everything we were promised in a 24-25 matchup. The only thing this looks against as Dada drives the lane is the mathematics that said this was number 24 and 25.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like Dada can do that anytime he wants tonight, Todd. He's got great command of that baseline on the left block.
Final minute of the opening quarter, and the scoreboard went dark. The clock is continuing to run. 48 seconds and counting to play in the opening stanza here. This is Donna, drive, left block, tough angled, couldn't finish, and the rebound ripped down by Dearborn. Now Dearborn tries to turn it in transition. 35 seconds left with the scoreboard mostly dark. The dish finds its way in the hands of Mahoney, missed the lay-in, follow-up opportunity, foul committed against Bodette, and 2 shots coming up here.
Offensive rebounding once again paying off, this time for Norwood. Getting themselves a couple foul shots. See who that foul was on. Cyrus.
Fouls at 2 aside here. Clean end-to-end basketball, an intense opening quarter. First one will go down for Bodette and close the Norwood gap to 5. .31 1/10 left. Clock will start on the touch. Bodette's shot does not go. Haas the rebound. 5-point lead for Leominster. Shot clock off here in the opening quarter. 23 seconds and counting. Jaden Johnson on the floor at the last stoppage. He'll put it in the hands of Donna. Swing back Haas. Now cross for Lopez. Lopez comes across, little shoulder fake, and then into the hands of Haas. Haas finds Johnson as Leominster tries to set the rotation. They've got now 5 seconds left in the quarter. McCormick will drive, lost the handle, stuck in no man's land, tried to bang it off a player, and the turnover made, and the quarter concludes.
Never heard the buzzer, but we'll call it a quarter.
So an exciting first quarter of action as we were promised. 18-13, Leominster on top of Norwood, 25 on top of 24 through 1 here inside the gym at Norwood tonight. The MIAA would like you to know that a well-rounded education is one that is not only academically oriented, but one that also includes physical, social, and emotional development. Interscholastic Athletics provides the other half of education. The MIAA encourages you to support your local high school athletic teams throughout the school year. This message brought to you by the MIAA, building the future through Interscholastic Athletics. What an opening quarter, Bill Thomas. The conclusion of the quarter didn't emphasize how great a quarter of basketball that was.
Yeah, it got a little chaotic at the end, but I think both teams got to be happy. Just a matter of a couple of missed shots on each end that each team probably wants back. Leominster finds its way to that first quarter lead, though. This is what they did the other night at Wakefield. They somehow maintained a 3 to 5 point lead, took that into halftime, and nursed that right through to the end of the game. Have to see if they can maintain this tonight, Todd.
Leominster will continue from right to left here in the second quarter, and they will start with the basketball.
Mostly starting five out there for the most part, Todd, except Jaden's out there, I think, running the point.
Great crowd on hand here in Norwood tonight. Both communities well represented. A contingent of blue and white of all generations. Pick your favorite side as blue and white battles blue and yellow gold.
Blue's the dominant color tonight. I think it's a team wearing some form of blue is going to win, Todd.
Indeed it is. On our cameras, it looks a little bit like a sky-ish blue, but if you see it in person for Norwood, it is every bit the royal blue that Leominster is used to sporting as well. The swing, it's Johnson inside Hawes. Hawes in a triple team. Jumper doesn't go. Right back to him. Got stripped in the air. Loose ball to the floor, and the whistles come in. The tie-up, and the first alternate possession will go the way of Norwood.
Good effort right there. Got his own rebound, but got tied up quickly by the Norwood defenders. A little full court pressure here.
And this is where Leominster has had some success defensively, causing some chaos. They haven't had problems on the defensive end of the floor throughout the year. They can create their opportunities. They've just got to make them count.
Yeah, I agree. You got to take advantage of those extra possessions when you get them, Todd. Creating turnovers and doing a good job on the glass.
Bodette, the drive, had to take off a little early as he felt that third step coming up. The rebound for McCormick. McCormick avoids contact. Shot from a tough angle aside the basket will not go. And the rebound down for the Mustangs, and they run in transition.
McCormick just kind of glided in there. I don't think he had the contact coming that he expected.
Dearborn with the strong take on Jaden Johnson, and Johnson never had legal guarding position. The foul, 2 shots coming up here for Brian Dearborn. 7:02 to play in the second quarter, 18-13. Leominster's lead is 5, and Dearborn can't get the first to go. Second one will go down.
First points for either team here in the second quarter.
Indeed, and brings Norwood within 4. Dada up floor. Hawes to McCormick. 3 up and 3 down.
I think that's the key, Todd. If T-Mac gets hot, it really loosens things up for everybody else.
13 points the other night, an important 13 points. Had the opening 3 of the basketball game. 21-14, 6:38 to play in the second quarter. Bodette working on Encarnacion, and that's a great matchup there, Bill Thomas. Encarnacion, physical and pesky. 2 things that you don't want to deal with.
And right
as he'll
there,
strip the basketball.
playing good defense. You're right, Todd. He's going to give those fouls.
Dada gets the open look at a deep 3. It won't go, but there's Encarnacion. Rips down the rebound. Follow-up shot will not go, and it's Nemescal comes down with the rebound for Norwood.
I got to tell you, if there's anybody that puts out more effort and doesn't get paid for it, I don't think there is than Ricky.
The shot missed there by Mahoney, and the follow-on rebound tapped around and settles in the hands of Johnson. Drives left block, too strong, and an immediate rebound for Casey Sheehan.
Once again, pretty much uncontested, and I thought you expected some contact, didn't get it.
Bodette off the bounce, 3-pointer, doesn't go off the front rim. Johnson the rebound, up floor McCormick, takes a little contact and missed the lay-in.
Got to do a better job there.
4 open possessions, 2 aside, 5:35 to play here in the second quarter. 21-14 Leominster's advantage.
Couple of layups that I'm sure the Blue Devils wish they had back.
Bodette will take the ball back, top of the key, 18 to shoot, loose handle, he will recover. Low on Dada, got some room. Dada the strip, into the hands of Nemescal, missed the lay-in, and McCormick comes down with it. Here's McCormick, bounce to Hawes, takes to the rim, basket's good, plus a foul.
And that's the way you run the fast break and finish on the end. Nice job by Chase.
23-14, and Coach Chris Fraioli says that's enough of that. Timeout on the floor.
I think he's probably going to tell his kids, fortunately that this isn't a much bigger lead, double digit or more. Leominster's missed some layups. They got to get back on defense, play a little better defense in transition.
The Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association is committed to good sportsmanship. Sportsmanship, citizenship, and responsibility are the trademarks of high school activities. Support school activities with your own display of good sportsmanship and help encourage America's youth to accept the responsibility which freedom demands. Support your local high school. See the future of America on display. Attend high school competitions in your community. This message furnished by the Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association, building the future through interscholastic athletics.
Speaking of athletics, I'm going to put a little plug in, just brag a little bit more about Norwood. Looking around the band, is Final Four finalists last year for boys, Final Four finalists for girls. We got here earlier, their girls team is in the Sweet 16. They're playing a game tomorrow night, so both teams with a great basketball tradition carrying on this year.
And Bill Thomas, a great story there. Kristen McDowell was the head coach of the boys team last year here for Norwood. She is now the head coach of the girls program, and Chris Fraioli came over after 20 years at Dedham. And I got to tell you, watching the practice from Coach McDowell earlier on, what a phenomenal practice. We get a chance to watch a lot of practices. We get a chance to see some shoot-arounds as I've been at the college level. That was as good a high school practice on the basketball court as I've ever seen administered.
Yeah, very regimented, very detail-oriented, worked on some specific stuff to use against the next opponent. Really on point, and brought her skills from the boys' side to the girls' side. No less success.
Hawes completes the three-point play, and it's 24-14. Leominster's lead is 10. 5:10 to play here in the second quarter. Here's Mahoney with the basketball. The ball tipped away, Encarnacion with the steal. Into the open floor. The lay-in is good.
Nice job. We talk about Ricky's defense, and it's on full display tonight, Todd.
This is Mahoney for Bodette. The right block drive, and great determination by Bodette to stem the tide and get the points on the board. Bring Norwood back within 10. Swing ball ends up all the way in the right corner with McCormick. Now all the way back to the half circle for Dada. Leominster working the right side of the floor. Entry pass, Encarnacion. Now cue up. McCormick from Carr. It's a three.
And a great in and out offense right there. Great ball movement. Some of the best ball movement we've seen the Blue Devils all year. Leaves that open three for T-Mac.
29-16, 4:15 to play before halftime. Swing into the hands of Mahoney. Now he feeds Bodette. Bodette drive, spin through the lane. Got away with a walk there. As they said, possession was in question. He recovered it. Swings it around for a Hemway three. The lefty can't get it to fall, and Encarnacion's got the rebound.
Every rebound finding the way into Ricky's hands here in the second quarter.
Dada will take the basketball and command. Half circle, snaps all the way to the baseline and through the hands of Carr and out of play.
Good idea right there, but unable to convert. Working that baseline, though. Don't give up on that baseline. It can be your friend.
Carr slipped in behind that level of defense, setting up along the blocks. And unfortunately not able to reel that one in. 3:40 to play second quarter. The drive, whistles, no shot. They say the foul is on the floor.
I think it's on Halstead. He just came back in for Johnson.
And gets on the board quickly for the foul. Fourth foul billed against Leominster, 3 against Norwood. Very clean first half of basketball. This is Mahoney. Mahoney into the hands of Hemway. Hemway and Mahoney,
defense here by the Blue Devils.
Stuck in that lock. The feed down low. It's Ilongo who slipped underneath that defense. Gets open in the lane and is good.
That's what happens when you extend the defense. You got to watch the weak side there and slip behind it.
29-18, Blue Devils on top of Mustangs. Dada the drive, thwarted there, and Sheehan with the basketball, and then stepped out of play, makes a great defensive play, and then ran out of real estate. A beautiful new state-of-the-art facility here in Norwood, but some tight baselines for an open field house on the arena end.
Yeah, not a lot of room here. Whoa. Almost a backcourt violation, but yeah, but they make the most of it.
Dada looks for Carr. It got deflected for Encarnacion. Now Halstead, left-hand shot doesn't go. Touched and out of play. Halstead with the last contact, turnover, and the ball back to Norwood. Osiris Lopez will check in to spell Justin Dada. 2:51 to play before halftime. 29-18, Leominster's lead. And here comes Matty Mahoney. The junior crosses the timeline from left to right. Surveys the defense, drops it off for Hamway. Hamway with the right-hand dribble, now finds Ilongo. Sets up Mahoney, who availed himself from the right side of the arc, and that one will not go long. Carr down for Halstead. Now McCormick, little head fake, drive foul line. Dance back, three, and down it goes!
So way to shake the defender.
Brings the Leominster student section, small but mighty in attendance, to their feet. And then a response on the defensive battle. Encarnacion with the last touch. Norwood keeps the basketball, but it's 32-18. Leominster on top of Norwood, 2:18 before halftime. As Lopez makes the steal and the defensive save for Halstead. Not able to finish. Carr the rebound, and he gets fouled. And Carr's going to the line to shoot two.
Blue Devils playing like they got 7 or 8 defenders on the court, anticipating everything. And getting in those passing lanes, turning it into fast breaks. Couldn't convert on that break, but offensive rebound and gets them to the line.
Bill Thomas, where are we? Where has this Blue Devil team been? In witness protection? I mean, unbelievable.
They played with a little more confidence the last couple of weeks. But I think that game against South in the Statewide Tournament might have been a wake-up call. That was a game everybody expected them to win. They didn't, and early exit there. They got some time to think about it, and they've come out to the state tournament with a renewed vigor and energy.
2:12 to play in the second quarter. 33-18, Leominster's advantage. Carr's got one more at the line. And down that one goes. 34-18, Leominster's advantage. 2:08 to play before halftime and counting. Mahoney for Bodette. Little baseline fake. Spin off Halstead. Jumper won't go. And in a double team, Carr crashes, gets the rebound, and draws the foul.
Nice job. Dylan just roaming that baseline area between the blocks. Doing a great job there, staying home, getting that defensive rebound. Out rebounding 2 Norwood players there. But in the middle, the sandwich, and gets the foul call.
1:53 in counting before halftime. 34-18, Leominster's advantage. Halstead for Dada. And Dada's taken out of the air with a follow-on technical foul is whistled against Noah Bodette.
Oh, that's very uncharacteristic player like that, but you know, a little too much emphasis on that, and a little bit of frustration, I'm going to say here too, as the first quarter winds down, Todd.
And Dada will have the technical free throws. First one will go. And for those that are wondering what drew the technical foul, the explanation's actually fairly easy. The foul initially was hard. That's fine. No issues there. There was a whistle. It would be a standard personal foul. And Bill Thomas, you just demonstrated it up here. He stood and loomed over top of Dada. And that by rule, according to the Federation rule book, that's a technical foul. It's a good call. It's a tight call in a tough situation. 1:44 to play before halftime. Dada gets half of the technical free throws. And Leominster keeps the basketball. 1:37 and counting. They didn't actually have a personal foul. The technical was a follow-up. The shot will not go, and out of play. The basketball for Carr.
That was actually a good defensive play, and but you're right, glaring over the play is not going to do you any good, Todd.
Nope, not when sportsmanship is the #1 focus here in any interscholastic sporting event. 88 seconds left before halftime, and Norwood looking to get something going here before halftime that Coach Chris Fraioli can take into the locker room and bring back out off the whiteboard. The deflection inside Bodette, the contact strong, and Bodette's going to go to the line for 2.
Yeah, let's give this smothering defense of the Blue Devils some credit. You know, if you told the Norwood coach you're only going to have 18 with a minute left in the first half, he probably would have had a chuckle. His answer would be, you mean after the first quarter, but They had, I think, 13. They've only got 5 points in the second quarter up to this point, Todd.
And Noah Bodette, the senior leader at the line. First one will go. Every shot matters going into this halftime break. And you got to just win the next time interval, Bill Thomas. You got 1:16 left, score more points than Leominster before halftime, and you've won that interval, and that's something to build on coming into the second half.
If you're the coach of Norwood, you just want to get this to single digits before you end up in the locker room and have something positive to talk about.
15-point game as Bodette hits them both. 35-20, Leominster's advantage over Norwood.
Blue Devils got to answer here. They can't give up this big lead that easily.
Dada for Johnson, now Hawes. Hawes gets tied up in the paint. Nemescal goes right in the tie-up. Officials will step in. Alternate possession belongs to Leominster. 59.5 seconds left before halftime.
Fortunate right there to have the arrow.
Lopez, the bounce, finds Hawes. The contact comes as the shot goes up. That will be the 7th foul whistled against Norwood. Leominster in bonus the rest of the half.
This will be a 2-shot foul.
Indeed it is.
But you're right, Todd. They'll be shooting the rest of this half here. 58.6 left.
And the first one off the mark for Hawes. And Bill Thomas, you can look at first year here at Dedham, but experienced veteran 21-year head coach Chris Fraioli standing there on the sideline and just looking at his team. Positive encouragement, trying to tell him what to do, but there's a little bit of the body language tells me what's going on here.
A little bit of frustration for sure. You can see it over there, but you know, you got to break this down into little increments, Todd. Win each possession and try to make some inroads.
Mahoney off the mark into the deck. He goes.
He got
contact
bailed.
for Johnson.
He got bailed out, completely out of control right there, but picks up the foul.
And Coach Grutchfield not enthused with the call. And he's going to send Dada to the table. 52 2/10 left. First one will not go down for Mahoney, the junior at the line.
First foul against Encarnacion. As hard as he's played defense tonight, I'm kind of surprised that's his first foul, Todd.
The officials
He's
let him play
on everything.
in the opening quarter and well into this second quarter as the second one goes down for Mahoney. The officials let them play. They've had to tighten up the whistles as the physicality and, of course, as you said, the frustration is certainly on the floor. McCormick, swing Lopez, and then for Hawes. Right back to Lopez. He fell asleep. Loose ball to the floor is out of play, but there is a foul whistled coming from behind the play. That will be the 7th whistled against Leominster, and it will send Norwood to the bonus and to the line.
Blue Devils sloppy with the ball there. They had a lot of clock to work with, but Norwood doing a good job jumping in that passing lane, playing defense all the way out to the sideline.
A little fire from Justin Dada as he goes and takes a seat.
Not happy with that. That's his second foul, Todd.
Shot clock will be off. 34 flat left before halftime. And the first one goes down. Bodette, the senior leader, makes the free throw opportunity count, and another one coming up here. Second one goes as well. 36-23. Shot clock off, final 28 seconds before halftime. Halstead for McCormick.
Got to be smart here.
Hawes for Lopez. Now Encarnacion fakes baseline, swing back, McCormick, now Hawes. Hawes over his head looking for an opportunity. He finds Halstead. Halstead for Encarnacion. One bounce of the basketball, McCormick. Now for Hawes. Hawes, little jump stop in the lane. It hung on the rim and it wouldn't fall. Encarnacion gets it back. He gets it up, and at the buzzer, Leominster will add 2 to their total at halftime, and they will charge into the locker room. It's 25 seed Leominster 38 and 24 seed Norwood 23 in this round of 16 contest. And who saw this at halftime?
And we talked about Ricky Encarnacion most of that first half, and with a statement answer as the clock winds down, he gets that offensive putback, leads to that 15-point lead here at halftime for the Blue Devils.
Coming up at the half, we'll step aside, and then with Kate on assignment, Billy and I will preview second half action and the road ahead for the team that makes it through this contest. All that coming up. as more than 270,000 students from 400 MIAA member schools will participate in over 100,000 high school sports competitions this year. The Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association encourages you to support your local high school athletic programs and the students who participate in them. This message furnished by the Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association, building the future through interscholastic athletics. Halftime in the round of 16 as 25 seed Leominster is on top of 24 seed Norwood, 38-23 on the road here in Norwood tonight. We step aside. Great to have those of you joining us here tonight, whether you're joining us on YouTube, Facebook Live, or Twitch. So much more to come. Stick and stay. Halftime, and then more to come. Leominster and Norwood second half action when we continue. You're watching Championship Basketball right here on RFM. Back inside the gym at Norwood High School, and the action gets ready to continue as we get ready for second half action. And great to have you along with us, whether you're joining us on YouTube, Facebook Live, or Twitch. Halftime score: 25 seed Leominster on top of 24th seed Norwood, 38-23. My, oh my, oh my, the numbers in this first half of action. Todd Robbins alongside Bill Thomas. Kate Robbins on assignment tonight. And Bill Thomas, we welcome you back in to the broadcast here up on Press Row. Come on over. Billy's not used to having to wander away from his location in order to get on camera here, but great to have you along with us. This halftime score, 38-23. Never did we see Leominster being able to put themselves into this situation, at least not a month ago. It's a totally different basketball team, and the numbers and the contributions bear it out. We thank the folks from Norwood Community Media. Kate Robbins on assignment. Bill Thomas, numbers aren't as good, but we'll limp by.
They're not as good as what Kate would give us, but it really gives us a good snapshot as you go over these, Todd.
Terrence McCormick, 12 points in the opening half. Justin Dada on the board for 9. Halstead's got 3 on an and 1 play. Ricky Encarnacion, 4 points. Chase Hawes checks in with 6. Dylan Carr, another 3. Terrence McCormick leads the scoring. Good things happen for Leominster when Terrence McCormick gets on the score sheet.
I agree. It just opens it up for everybody. But to see all 5 starters on the board, really spreading it around, I think that shows how, they're looking for that second and third pass and finding that open shooter. And the shooters have been hitting just enough tonight to help maintain this lead and keep Norwood honest on the other end.
Couple of notable scorers over on the other side, and you've been talking about it, and that is the all-scholastic athlete, Noah Bodette, the senior leader. 14 points in the first half of Norwood's 23, and Dylan Hamway's got the big three-pointer. He had the first big three-pointer on the possession for Norwood, and you thought, oh my, look out, and he hasn't really got a lot of great looks.
But if not for the work of Ricky Encarnacion defensively in that first half, that might have more than 20 to 25. Great job by him, in addition to chipping in 4 on the other end.
As we get ready for third quarter action here inside the gym at Norwood tonight. The officials, another night, Bill Thomas, the officials late coming out of the locker room. Somebody not telling them.
Everybody's ready to play, but the
I was going to say the officials were not quite ready to go, but they are ready now. Somebody has cued them, and away we go. Third quarter action here, second half. 24 seed Norwood chasing Leominster, a 38-23 lead for the 25 seed. Norwood goes right to left in this second half of action with the white over white tops, the royal blue and yellow gold trim, and the royal blue numerals front and back. Mustangs in a script on the front of the jersey and across the nameplate at the back, as the drive for Mahoney will not go to the deck. Nemskel cues up a three-pointer away for Hamway, and that one was challenged and not able to go. 2 missed opportunities on that one. Down floor, McCormick with the response, and Leominster is on the board. And Bill Thomas, in that latter stages of the first half, Leominster was struggling with those 2-point bunny opportunities. Good to see them get on the board early with that one, as the foul comes on the beginning of that approach. It's a reach-in foul, I think, against Encarnacion.
Yeah, and if it is, that's going to be his third here early on in the third quarter. They only have him for 2. Fortunate.
Here's the drive. Bodette inside Nemskel, not able to hit the lay-in, and then off Nemskel, out of play. And the ball will go back to Leominster. 2 open possessions for the Mustangs to start the second half, and this dry spell is sort of what they've been dealing with all night.
Yeah, a couple of under-basket looks, unable to convert, but, if you were to talk to them about what their expectations were. Oh,
Dada with the drive over the top of Bodette. And that one will go.
And using the left side of the lane, that left block, his favorite area.
Swing back in for the basketball. It's Mahoney. Spin through the lane. The reverse lay-in will not go. And Dylan Carr down with the rebound. He'll find Dada in transition. Bring it up floor, McCormick. Now corner. Halstead. Step up. Long 2. Rims out. And Mescal the rebound. That one poked away by Halstead, and it sends Mahoney back for it. Just about 2 minutes into the third quarter, 42-23, Leominster's lead. This is Sheehan Off the bounce, cue up Hamway, 3 in the left corner, doesn't go, battle for the rebound, last touched by Nemskow, out of play, and the ball back to Leominster. And Bill Thomas, you see Dylan Carr pleading his case there about the contact inside.
I thought that Norwood's fortunate not to get billed for an over the top on that rebound opportunity.
You could certainly make the case, but the officials have let them play. The players have determined this one, and now it's Bodette. Sweeps the leg and brings Dada to the floor.
That's where they're going to go on this one.
Keep in mind, too, Noah Bodette has one technical foul in the book against him. A second technical foul, Bill Thomas, would result in his dismissal from the game.
Got to be careful.
5:55 to play here in the third. It's Dada for Encarnacion. Finds the floor, elevates in the lay-in goes.
Yeah, and that's that pressure defense that Norwood's got to throw at the ball handler. And when you double up and triple, somebody's going to be open. Nice job by Dada to find Encarnacion under the basket.
Mahoney swings to Bodette. Working on Encarnacion. Inside off angle. He gets pushed. And that should bring Encarnacion to his third. 5.5 minutes to play in the third quarter.
Yeah, Blue Devils got to be aware whenever Norwood doubles up or triples that somebody's got to be open, and they just got to keep moving and circle the baseline, and hopefully the ball handler will be able to find them.
And Bodette is at the line. And that first one will not go. Great to have you along with us, whether you're joining us on YouTube, Facebook Live, or Twitch tonight here on RFM. Thank the great folks at the MIAA and the great folks right here at Norwood for helping us make this broadcast possible tonight. Todd Robbins alongside Bill Thomas here for you tonight. And thank you so much for being a part of our family this evening here on RFM.
Norwood finally gets on the board here in the second half after 6 quick points by the Blue Devils in this third quarter.
And closes it to a 20-point basketball game. Dada tries to throw the pass cross floor. It got deflected. Bodette picks up the loose ball and races it down floor for the lay-in.
Definitely, oh, he stepped
and
over.
then Halstead with the unforced error, and that brings life back into the Mustang crowd and the Mustang bench, and immediately Coach Kevin Grutchfield, who had not yet spent a timeout, spends one here. 5:13 to play in the third quarter with a 44-26 lead, but Leominster feeling like maybe the car's coming a little loose on the rails.
Well, you have that
Coach
giveaway.
Grutchfield says, let's take the time.
You have that giveaway, and then you try to go too quick on that inbounds, and, Michael just lost his balance right there. But credit Norwood, they're putting that full court pressure up there right off the inbounds and threw Michael Halstead off a little bit. He fell over the end line, and that's a violation.
High school sports provides an extension of the classroom where students learn to pursue excellence, the value of working with others toward a common goal, and playing within the structure of established rules, discipline, loyalty, and emotional control. The MIAA urges you to demonstrate your support for these values and for our young people by attending high school competitions in your community. This message furnished by the State Association, the MIAA, building the future through interscholastic athletics.
I hear you say they were nice enough not to charge us a fee because we had student involvement. That was so nice of them.
Absolutely. They were fantastic.
We
appreciate their support.
Thank you very much, MIAA.
And the great folks here at Leominster with their support of RFM. Straight line stack out of the timeout. This is Bodette with the drive. The lay-in will not go. Carr the rebound, and he gets bulldozed from behind by Dearborn, who just went up, Bill Thomas, and then just got over the top of Carr and fell through.
Yeah, he had some momentum there, but, both players jump up. Situational.
Indeed.
Norwood's got to be aggressive, go after every ball. It might lead to some fouls. Leominster's got to be aware of that. Play under control.
Fouls it 2 aside, under 5 minutes to play in the third. Dada's drive and kick, and it is an offensive foul as Dada is whistled for using that leading forearm, and we've seen this over the last few games, Bill Thomas. It's been the debate. How much warding off can you do? And in that case, Dada leaned forward and then pushed through with it. Here's the drive, Dearborn. The drop inside for Sheehan goes high off window and makes that one count. Dada Drive, back, Hawes, now Halstead. Halstead, left side of the lane, shot up, that one will not go. Loose ball to the deck, up with it is Casey Sheehan.
And you see Norwood doubling and tripling every time down the court. Blue Devils got to be a little more patient. There's got to be somebody open. Just got to wait for him.
Dearborn feeds Mahoney, gets it right back. Now in the hands of Bodette, triple threat position. Decides to fake and drive, splits 3 Blue Devils, and the lay-in just short and Carr the rebound.
He's had a couple of those here in this third quarter, just not able to elevate.
McCormick with the drive, feed for Hawes, around and down, plus the foul.
And that's the way you beat that aggressive defense. They come at you, somebody's got to be open. Nice job by Hawes filling that weak side of the lane, finishing it off.
4:05 to play in the third quarter, and it's 46-28. And Hawes is at the line looking to complete a 3-point play. And Hawes gets that one to go.
Nice to see him get that bounce. He struggled from the line the past couple of games, Todd.
47-28, halfway through this third quarter. The feed finds Sheehan as Lopez tried to jump the pass. It didn't work. Sheehan missed the shot. Bodette the rebound, and the follow-up lay-in will go.
Take care of business off that offensive rebound.
And that has been the story right along for Norwood when the opportunities have presented themselves. The reach-in foul, and Hemway with the frustration as he reaches across the grip of Halstead and draws the whistle.
Looks like it's going to be his third foul, Todd.
Is it just me, Bill Thomas, or has the intensity come up everywhere in the building as it's an immediate giveaway?
Yeah,
and Coach Kevin Crutchfield with the frustration.
Bad inbounds right there. Caught Johnson at the feet, couldn't do anything with it.
Hemway, the inbound for Mahoney, and Mahoney steps on the gas into the lane, protects the ball, the shot goes up and missed. Bodette the rebound, shot up, Hawes the foul, and Bodette's going to the line.
Nice job getting that put back there. Looked like he dragged that back pivot foot a little bit, Todd, but officials gave him that extra movement.
17-point basketball game as Bodette goes to the line looking for 2. First one goes down for Bodette, and we talked about this great facility here, Bill Thomas. Brand new facility, couple years old. It's got this sort of tiered seating format. We are high above courtside along a walking track that rings this field house. Double basketball courts stacked end to end along one another. And there is a crowd up here, almost like a balcony and throwback to the old Boston Garden, hanging down over and watching the game from up here in section 99.
Yeah, and I have to say, great use of the space. Put this track up here, let the spectators up here, and a great area to view a basketball game. It's got that bandbox feel, but the crowd's big enough to really appreciate it.
All this open, of course, to the public here in Norwood as well. Timeout on the floor, and Bill Thomas, I believe, was that a Leominster timeout?
I believe it was, Todd.
Leominster takes their second of this third quarter. And hey, when is the best time to talk to your child about athletics and the use of mood-altering chemicals? Try talking together when there is no pressing problem. Let your child know what your expectations are and where the boundaries are in your family. And above all, keep talking together. This message furnished by the MIAA, the Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association, building the future through interscholastic athletics.
And if I could make a suggestion, just try having dinner together and not in front of the TV.
Bill Thomas does a little counseling on his off nights here from RFM. Plenty of chances to get a chance to communicate. The great communicator that is Bill Thomas. Lopez looking for an inbound. He finds Johnson, gets it right back. The full court pressure here. Up floor, Dada. Dada back to Johnson. Finds Lopez, steps into the lane, and it goes.
That's what you're going to get when that pressure defense comes out to meet you.
The freshman Osiris Lopez has found his spots to make contributions. 10 points the other night in the Leominster win against Wakefield, and tonight he's seen his opportunities and he's made them count when he has. Bodette down the lane. Johnson makes the strip. Now Dada presses it up floor. Tipped loose by Dearborn, and it is out out of play, and the basketball will stay with Leominster. 31 to shoot, 2:56 left here in the third stanza. Johnson, Carr steps up, jumper from distance, does not go. Long tap on the rebound, and Bodette will run down the loose ball. Back down floor. Mahoney. The first touch on the floor for Descharnes, and then a cue up for a Bodette three, and he finishes.
Don't fall asleep on him. You got to play defense all the way out.
49-35, Carr for Lopez, taken away by Hemway, and Hemway will find his way up floor. Into the hands of Bodette. Bodette gets an open look at three, and back to back, and he's on fire, and it brings the Mustang crowd to their feet, 49-38. Dada with the bounce, the drive, the finger roll does not go. Battle to the deck. Up with it, it's Lopez. Lopez back for Johnson. Leominster misses the opportunity again, and all of a sudden, that latter part of the first half, Leominster missing those 2-point opportunities. They are doing it again here in the third. That's 6 missed points. But the steal, and here comes McCormick right back down the floor. He'll drive, kick. Johnson, the three, and the response goes down.
That's an answer right there from the young player.
It took an extra possession, but they got it on the board. 90 seconds left in the third quarter, 52-38. 3 away, Hemway for the response, to the response. That one will not go, and Dada the rebound. Now Dada sees Johnson, baseline, and the reverse lay-in goes.
That's the way you look to the weak side. Nice job by Dada with heads-up play.
Coach Cordio, 50-plus years in the coaching industry, up off the bench, imploring the defense back down floor for Leominster. Here's the drive, double clutch, high off the window, and down it will fall for Mahoney.
A little shootout going here as this third quarter winds down.
14-point basketball game.
Right away off the dribble.
Indeed, and Hemway comes up with it. Final 48 seconds of the third quarter. Bodette has it slapped away by Lopez. Lopez tries to buy it, but he was standing out of bounds when he made the play.
Intensity's picked up here in the last 2 minutes for sure, Todd.
Tell me these teams don't want to go for another opportunity at the round of 8. The winner gets the winner of Malden Catholic and Scituate. Malden Catholic, the number 1 overall seed in Division 2. That game, Malden Catholic and Scituate, is tomorrow night. Game likely scheduled for Thursday-ish. The jumper for Bodette does not go, and the rebound brought down for Johnson. Now up floor, finds McCormick. McCormick, little head fake, drive, and Mahoney reached in, and Mahoney's trying to plead his case, and Bill Thomas, you get a little feeling that maybe he might have had something to it. He was able to get to the ball, and he did it without touching the offensive player.
Yeah, and it looked like he got the ball to come down Johnson's leg there, but no call on his end. Picks up the foul, 15 foul.
Dada, after a quick blow, right back into the game. He'll check in for Halstead. 26 1/10 left here in the third, shot clock off.
Playing offense for defense here.
Dada with the left-hand dribble. Highlights it over, finds Johnson. Johnson now for Lopez, and now Carr. Dada trying to go looking for an over-the-top pass down to the low block. Did not get it, but he likes the matchup. 10 seconds left here in the third. They go over the top. Johnson, Dada, the defensive blow-by, and Dada read it right and finished it at the rim.
Tell you, great use of the clock right there.
The response down floor, quick push shot, and to the deck he goes. What a shot by Matty Mahoney, who raced down the floor and made sure Norwood could neutralize the made basket from Dada. 3 quarters in the books in the 24-25 matchup. 25 seed Leominster 56, 24 seed Norwood 42, but they won the third quarter, Bill Thomas, and the all-important fourth and final quarter is on deck. Norwood looks good here. Leominster having a little challenge in the third. Now is it one of those white knuckle hang on to the finish?
Well, you say they won the third quarter, Todd, but it was only by 1 point. I think Leominster did a good job answering every charge that Norwood gave to them. And, coming back, the only thing that wins that quarter for Norwood is that last second layup right there. But give Leominster a lot of credit, playing tough defense and answering Norwood's attacks every chance they get. And, throwing up a 3 of their own and make a couple foul shots. Took that 15-point lead into the half, still maintain a 14-point lead after 3.
If you weren't with us off the top of the broadcast, that was the road for these two teams. You see it on the screen here. Both teams played play-in games. Norwood went through Ludlow and then beat the 9-seed Foxborough to host this contest tonight. Leominster beats Chicopee in a blowout play-in opener and then moves on to play the 8-seed Wakefield, a game that they needed overtime to win 71-70. And now here we are, 24-25 with 8 and 9 out. The winner gets the winner of Malden Catholic and Scituate, a 1 versus 16 matchup. Fourth and final quarter underway. Leominster with the basketball going left to right. And immediately the drive and foul committed. It will be the 6th whistled against the Mustangs early in the 4th. It's a shooting foul, so Dada will go to the line, but Bill Thomas, more importantly, Leominster will have free throws on every foul the rest of the way the next 7 minutes and 50 seconds as Dada hits the first.
Yeah, we'll have to see, foul shooting can be very important. I don't think it's going to be any more important than it's going to be in this game that has been all season for the Blue Devils.
Dada 2 of 2 on the trip.
As frantic as that third quarter was, Todd, Blue Devils did a good job of maintaining that halftime lead that they built up in the second quarter.
Dearborn drops the basketball into the hands of Mahoney, who made the great play at the third quarter buzzer. Dearborn, bounce entry for Luongo, who lost the handle across the baseline and out of play. There was a little bump contact going in there, and it broke the concentration of Luongo just enough that the ball lost out of his hands and across the baseline.
Yeah, it looked like Todd doing a good job there, pressuring him.
McCormick makes the play in the front court and then bullets it back to Donna. An over and back violation, and Bill Thomas, Leominster's got to get themselves under control here early in the fourth quarter.
That's just a mental mistake there by Terrence. He knows he can't pass that back into the back court, but trying to get away from the pressure.
The drive. Stop Dearborn. Luongo gets it. Now back through Mahoney into the hands of Bodette. Bodette into a triple team. Got the shot up. Did not draw the foul as he went to the deck. Down floor. Johnson fakes the pass, but he walked with it. And the ball will go back the other way. It's a turnover.
He had an open man on the wing, too. Decided to take it on his own. Got his feet a little ahead of him.
1 minute gone by in the final quarter of regulation. Mahoney's shot does not go. Carr the rebound.
Couple of layups that Norwood's been unable to convert on in this fourth quarter.
Dada for Encarnacion, then for Johnson. Now back to McCormick, top of the key. Drop it. Dada, great look at three. Buried it.
I think that was in the spectators' first row, Todd.
61-42, 6:40 to play in the fourth quarter. Mahoney, a chance at the response and a hard rattle out. Carr the rebound. He outlets for Dada. Dada right back down floor, and he races, and the lay-in is good.
Yeah, as soon as he got that defender pedaling backwards, took advantage of that opening. Blew right by him.
And this is the type of contest that Justin Dada has really, really needed. The deflection into the backcourt allowed Norwood to bring it back forward, but Dada taking command. That's the thing we were looking for. As this shot goes up and is short for Bodette. Bodette will go to the line for free throws. Was for Dada, the known leader of this team, to command the floor. And through this playoff run, Justin Dada has commanded the floor every night, and that has forced defenses to acknowledge him and allowed the others to contribite on the floor.
Yeah, and I think he's really made a great contribution defensively. You know, we've known him to become known as a scorer. But he's rounded into a much better play, especially the last couple of weeks. He just seemed to accept that challenge. You know, we heard the coach Bailey throw out a little challenge to talking to him a couple weeks ago, and Dada's really stepped up.
20-point basketball game, 63-43. Bodette delivers. 63-44, 19-point game. Dada went along the timeline to McCormick there, and Leominster may have got away with one.
It's close.
Tipped away by Dearborn. Dada allowed to go back and field it. Globetrotter to the floor, and Coach Kevin Grutchfield with the timeout to maintain the offensive possession.
I thought they were going to have a travel call right there on Dada when he slid like a Globetrotter style, but I think they got away with two of them in that possession, Todd.
5:51 to play in the fourth quarter, 63-44. My, oh my, oh my. Bill Thomas, I keep going back and thinking about what this year has been like. And all of a sudden, it's like we've been transported back to the Leominster of December, the one that sort of disappeared after the holiday tournaments and never really seemed to reemerge. They had some good wins. They had to battle for them. And this is the type of battle-tested team that Coach Kevin Crutchfield said he wanted his team to be, and it is paying off in this postseason.
Well, they did enough to get to the postseason. Granted, most of that work was done in the first half of the season, but Coach continued to challenge him, and they did run to a tough stretch there, up and down the second half, but I might have battle-tested him and made him a little bit stronger for this tournament run.
A well-rounded education is one that is not only academically oriented, but one that also includes physical, social, and emotional development. Interscholastic Athletics provides the other half of education. The MIAA encourages you to support your local high school athletic teams throughout the school year. This message brought to you by the MIAA, building the future through Interscholastic Athletics. And it's a turnover and the ball back to Norwood. A quick giveaway out of the timeout.
Yeah, good defense. Once again, right there, Norwood swarming to every possession.
Hemway, step back space, three-pointer deep and away, does not go. Ilongo the rebound. He will find Bodette, another opportunity here. Bodette, the little step back three-pointer, and down it goes.
They made that offensive rebound pay off.
63-47, 5:25 to play in the fourth. Johnson finds Hawes, swing back Dada, step back top of the key. McCormick from the logo, he delivers.
That's an answer right there. T-Mac teeing it up.
66-47, 5:10 to play in the fourth quarter. And Bodette says, I can do it too. Shot just off the mark, McCormick the rebound. Back down floor, encounters Bodette. Bodette breaks up the ball into the hands of Ilongo. Now Bodette in transition, into a triple team, keeps the play alive. You think Bodette is done? Think he wants to continue playing? This one gets swung around into the hands of Hemway and deflected out of play. Norwood will keep the basketball.
Things getting real chaotic on both sides of the court, both ends of the court, Todd.
We're hanging by one very loose bolt, Bill Thomas, for this car to hop the rails. 4:50 to play in the fourth quarter, 66-47. Hemway, the inbound. Puts it in the hands of Steves. Right back to Hemway, and he splashes home a three. 16-point basketball game. 4:37 in the fourth. Dada down the floor.
Just takes it right to that press.
And Coach Crutchfield spends another timeout. 4:33 to play here in the fourth quarter, 68-50. Leominster's lead is 18.
They found a way to maintain it, as chaotic as the second half has seemed, and at times Norwood seems like they're on the verge of taking over the game and clawing back into it, but Blue Devils have found an answer to every offensive gauntlet that Norwood has thrown down in the second half. Blue Devils have had an answer on the other end.
We thank the great folks here at Norwood once again for their support, bringing us here tonight. Jack Tolman and the folks at Norwood Community Media, cannot thank them enough. This broadcast would not have been possible without their support of the athletic administration, the folks here at Norwood being so wildly welcome to bring RFM here on the road to Norwood for this postseason contest tonight.
Yeah, it's nice when a little bit of cooperation goes a long way. We'll just say that.
It's a Bill Thomas phrase that works. And Bill Thomas, you can have broadcast next to broadcast next to broadcast. We got them all queued up here, up on the walkway. Back to action we go. Ball immediately broken up, and it's Encarnacion back for Carr.
Once again, Ricky in the middle of it.
Carr steps on the gas, kick back for Dada, and Leominster will slow the pace and now whistle away from the basketball. Bodette gets billed for the foul.
Him and Johnson get tangled up here off ball.
And for Bodette, his fourth, 4:17 to play in the fourth quarter, and Coach Chris Fraioli says we need to talk about this one, as now the strategy is going to change here. Noah Bodette had 14 points at the half, Bill Thomas. He may be very close to doubling that up here in the second. Certainly the offense runs through Bodette. They cannot afford to have him foul out with the half of this fourth quarter remaining.
And I think with that scrambling defense that Norwood's been playing this second half, he's been involved in a lot of it. I think he's got to hang back, maybe play the middle and not get called for a foolish foul here, trying to double and triple team. He's got to play his own game here and make sure he keeps himself in the game right through the final whistle.
State championship just a week and a half away for the teams lucky enough to make it that far. In Divisions 1 through 4, boys and girls basketball all being contested on the campus of the University of Massachusetts Lowell at the Songus Center, a beautiful facility up there in the heart of Lowell and a great place for a state championship. Just the right size for high school basketball, just the right size for high school championships.
Hope we get a trip there. Looking forward to it.
Chase Hawes at the line, and he will make the first of the 1-and-1 counts. 69-50. And Coach Fraioli sends Bodette onto the floor and now checks back out and gets a courteous round of applause from the crowd, who thinks that maybe for Noah Bodette, this is his farewell tour.
Could be very well. I'm sure he'll be playing next year somewhere, but might have seen the best of him here as a high schooler.
Swing back to the top of the key. This is Steves. Steves into the hand of Ryan Kelly. Kelly finds Jason Fennell. Cue back up. This is Steves. Swatted down by Carr. Loose ball to Encarnacion. Head of the break, and the lay-in will go.
Good defense right there. I tell you, Norwood just looks like a different team when Bodette's not on the floor.
And this is the rest of that senior group for Coach Chris Fraioli, Bill Thomas, giving him a chance in this postseason to say farewell on their own floor. The feed coming across. The sophomore Connell. That one will not go. And the turn back over, 3.5 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter.
Bothered by Chase, takes the ball up court himself. Blue Devils got to be feeling pretty good about things right now.
Dada.
It's not over yet, though.
Encarnacion. Indeed, it is not.
Oh,
tipped away. Carr for Johnson.
That's the way it's been going tonight.
Johnson will circle this one back.
Using up all the clock. Not really in a hurry about scoring. It's more about clock management right now.
7 to shoot, 3:05 to play in the fourth. Dada takes the three. It will not go. And the rebound down into the hands of Patrick Connell.
Just not enough possessions now if Blue Devils can take care of things on their end.
Connell with the low bounce for Fennell. Couldn't finish. Second opportunity. That doesn't go. Fennell tries to break things up over the head of Haas, and the loose ball finds its way to Johnson.
Another under the rim opportunity for Norwood, unable to convert half a dozen of those here in the fourth quarter alone, Todd.
That'll be the story of the night for them, is what could have been with missed shots.
Blue Devils in no hurry here. Once again, it's about clock management.
Carr to Dada for Encarnacion. They cycle the basketball.
Notice that the intensity on the defensive end is quieted down also.
Carr drives, and Fennell with the takeaway. 2:17 and counting to play here in the fourth quarter. 3 away. In and out for Kelly, the senior. Another opportunity here. Swing down low. Kelly, another opportunity, and a lay-in will not go.
Another under the basket opportunity. Tell you, Norwood's just got to be tearing their hair out. The coaches over there, the missed opportunities just continue to mount.
1:50 and counting to play in the fourth quarter. Coach Kevin Crutchfield is preparing to clear the bench as he'll send the youngsters to the table.
Tell you, great job by the Leominster starting 5 tonight. Toss in some Johnson, a little bit of Lopez off the bench, and it's really done. Those 7 have really done yeoman's work.
On the final 2 seconds, Johnson will drive and make the points count at 74-50. 80 seconds left here in regulation. Fennell for Steves. Cue back Connell. And then there's a foul as Hawes will
get everybody
reach in.
He
And
did
give
that.
the foul.
You see what he did after that? He walked right over to the bench and started signaling everybody. Come on, guys.
Come on out. Give them a chance to play. 1:10 left here in the fourth quarter.
Clear the bench. And I think that's a great sportsmanship move by a senior just to get the bench in there.
Nico Nevard checks in for Leominster. Caden Drinkwater, Reed Richards wearing the 00. They stay on the floor with Carr and Reese Laura, who is a swing player this year. Also out there now for Leominster. And Nevard right on the floor. The Fennel miss and the rebound. Under a minute to play in this round of 16 matchup. Leominster looking to close out. Laura for Richard. Little give and go, Nevard in the paint. Drop it off for Carr. 17 seconds to shoot.
Good job leaving Carr out there as that senior presence to control the middle.
Reed getting cheered on by the crowd to take a shot. He will not. Laura clears the space, takes the 3 with 2 to shoot, and that one will not go. Off the rim, rebound for Fennel. Shot clock is off. Down floor, the response. That one won't go for Connell, and out of play. And the ball back for Leominster. 20 seconds flat left here in the fourth quarter. And Richards will dribble the ball up floor. And Leominster need only dribble this one out. The Leominster fans on hand cheering their team on as the horn will sound. And this fairy tale has yet another chapter into the round of 8 as the 25th seed Leominster down to the 24th seed Norwood in a round of 16 matchup by a 74-50 score.
And I'll come right out and say it. Anybody that followed the way this team played in the last month would think these kids would be worrying about what they're going to do for the spring sports season. But more basketball to play for these Blue Devils.
And it is an entirely different team than we have seen in the month of February that appeared in the month of March. And as the old saying goes, Bill Thomas, beware of the Ides of March coming up next week.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm going to go back to Coach Crutchfield. He's done a great job coaching. He's pretty low-key, but we've heard through some of his after-game talks about how the team has progressed and where the weak spots are, where the leadership needs to come from, and who needs to step up. And I think some of those kids have heard that call and they've answered that challenge.
High school sports provides an extension of the classroom where students learn to pursue excellence, the value of working with others toward a common goal, playing within the structure of established rules, discipline, loyalty, and emotional control. The MIAA urges you to demonstrate your support for these values and for our young people by attending high school competitions in your community. This message furnished by the State Association, the MIAA building the future through Interscholastic Athletics. This round of 16 matchup is in the books, and the 25th seed Leominster rolls on. They get the winner of tomorrow night's 1 versus 16 matchup, and that will take place at Malden Catholic as the number 1 overall seed Malden Catholic will play host to the 16 overall seed Scituate. A Malden Catholic Scituate winner will host Leominster in the round of 8. My, oh my, oh my, how a storybook continues. The rights fee to this cablecast has been waived by the MIAA on behalf of the students of Leominster High School. The MIAA represents nearly 400 senior high schools across the Commonwealth and more than 200,000 young men and women who participate annually in the MIAA-governed athletic competition. Any rebroadcast or republication of this program without the written consent of the MIAA is prohibited. Leominster 74 and Norwood 50. We're not done yet. Hear from Norwood tonight. We're going to step aside. So much more to come. Stick and stay with us. Post-game comes your way next. Leominster is a winner. They advance to the round of 8 with a 74-50 win over Norwood. You're watching tournament basketball right here on RFM.
You do most of the talking. I'm just going to nod. Nod in agreement.
Well, now everyone seems to know that as we welcome you back post-game.
Because you got all the facts, Todd.
Here on RFM, we welcome you back here as we continue in this round of 16 wrap-up as Leominster finds their way to a victory in Norwood tonight. 74-50. It was a commanding gate-to-wire lead for Leominster, and they took it all the way home. The part that you have to keep asking yourself is, where has this team been? But is this simply, as we welcome you back up here high above the bar here to our trackside and court above broadcast position here tonight in Norwood, Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, and great to have you along with us, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitch, wherever you're joining us. Bill Thomas, you have to wonder, is this what battle-tested looks like? Maybe it was ugly in the month of February. Maybe they were beat up, but they persevered. They survived. And they've made this postseason, aside from that squeaker in overtime against Wakefield, they've made it look pretty easy.
Well, when you start off with a 40 seed that everybody expects you to handle easily, and you do, it helps to build confidence. But I'm going to go back to that Samata tournament loss to South. I think the kids had a little awakening, a little spiritual awakening. They should have never lost that game. Maybe an underrated South team, but still a 6 seed for a reason. And Leominster was the 3 seed coming into that tournament. And, that was not a good showing for them on their home court. I'd even put it in the embarrassing category. And if that's what it took to wake them up coming into the state tournament, then so well and good. Let's have that tournament every year. And let's, who cares? That's just a warm-up tournament when it comes to this. And I think, win or lose, I think Leominster either, use that as an incentive, that early out, and then I'm sure the coaches took that a little extra time off and put it to good use. And it's showing up here. They had that 50-plus blowout win in their first round, but, it was really the true test was the other night against Wakefield where they controlled that second half. But tonight, continue to build upon leads quarter to quarter to quarter, maintain or build in those leads. That's what you need to see, and that's the key to success to a good team like this, like they're rounding into right now. And it's not just one player, and I think part of that has come with challenging the entire team, not just stand around and watch Dada just shoot the ball. And I think that's what this team had started to become.
And with Dada performing and performing up to the form he's capable of, all of a sudden it forces the defense to respect that and creates other opportunities for everyone else on the floor. And when they deliver, then it's pick your poison out there.
Yeah, and when the defense has to come out to meet Dada, that's when things open up underneath. But you got to convert those layups. And I think if there's been any aspect of the game that's been troubling, is really taking advantage of under the basket opportunities that the Blue Devils, have been able to create themselves. But, high school teams up and down, we saw Norwood have a number of opportunities under the basket that I'm sure they're going to lose sleep over tonight. And, Blue Devils just did, a good job, a better job of balancing the floor, spreading the scoring around. I think you'll have, a few comments about that, where the scoring came from, especially in the second half. But just maintaining that control from that 15-point first half lead, not giving any of that up in the third quarter, and then just building on it and driving away in the fourth quarter.
You made reference to it, so let's drop those in here. Kate Robbins on assignment tonight, but sharing with us, our friends at Norwood Community Media, kind enough to share their homework. And here's what we have for final totals here tonight. Terrence McCormick, 17 points. Justin Dada, a team leading 22. Michael Halstead had 3 in the first half. Ricky Encarnacion doubled up his output with 4 more in the second for a total of 8. Chase Hawes, another 5 points in the second half for a total of 11. Jaden Johnson on the score sheet for 7 second half points. And Dylan Carr had the 3 in the first half of note. On the other side of things, from a scoring standpoint, Hamway had the 3-pointer obviously early in the basketball game. He added 2 more here in the second half, so he's good for at least 9. But then it's all Noah Bodette. That's the guy you got to talk about. Of the 50 points that Norwood put on the board tonight, 32 came from Noah Bodette. That's what senior leadership is. He took the team on his back, needed a little more help from his surrounding cast in order to make this a contest tonight.
Yeah, and I think it's been proven out time and time again that you can't live with one score. And you got to have some help, from your teammates, whether it's chipping in 5 here, 6 here, 10 there. But one scorer alone is not going to make a long-term success. Yeah, it's going to lead to some wins, but teams are going to clamp down, either let you get your points and clamp down on everybody else and you run wild. But, sometimes, 30, 40 points isn't the road to success. And I don't care what level you're at. You got to have a balance, the score sheet. You got to move the ball around. And, you got to take turns stepping up. And I think at some point a lot of Noah was waiting for Badette to do more and more and more. And, I think some frustration set in on his part. We saw him pick up that technical when he made a great defensive play. They were going to have the ball. He decided to leer over the player and cost him a foul shot, cost him a possession. And he didn't seem like he was the same player. Yeah, he continued to get his points, but it's almost like he dialed it back a little bit. The intensity just didn't seem to be there the rest of the game. And, even though he got his 32, it still led to a 24-point loss.
Almost felt like you had to, at that point, a little bit of the intensity.
And you could see his dejection at the end of the game. He came out with about 4 minutes left in the game, which, usually you don't take your superstar out that early. But, the coach saw the handwriting on the wall, and, the frustration was definitely there, and probably the best thing overall for emotions purposes. Get him on the bench, get it, his accolades, they're all well-deserved. We saw a great player tonight, but just not enough from a supporting cast.
Got a phenomenal round of applause here in appreciation for his efforts this year and through his 4-year career here at Norwood. Bodette finishes his career with 32 points tonight in a losing effort for the Mustangs. Let's take a look at the road ahead. We mentioned it right off the conclusion of this one. Leominster will move on to play the winner of the 1 versus 16 matchup. That's Malden Catholic, the number 1 overall seed in Division 2, and Scituate was the 16 overall seed in Division 2. That game is scheduled for 7 o'clock tomorrow night at Malden Catholic. The winner of that one in the 1/16 will host Leominster, the 25 seed. This story, if it is going to continue, will continue on the road for the Blue Devils. And before we step away, Bill Thomas, give me an opportunity to at least give you an early kind of prediction here of where you see things going. Everything I have heard about Malden Catholic tells me that they are unquestionably the best team in this division in boys basketball right now this year in this campaign, but they have got a tough Scituate team that was a hard out last year that ultimately ended up resulting in a game for Leominster at home where Scituate took the long drive to Leominster and then packed Leominster up and sent them on their merry way. So certainly Leominster would love another shot at Scituate should Scituate pull the upset. But that is going to be a hard out, and Coach Matt Poirier's bunch for Scituate against Malden Catholic, the beast in Division 2 right now.
Yeah, but, I think at some point you got to throw the rankings out. We saw a 16-4 team here that was, down in 24. You wonder, a couple of blowouts can lead to maybe an inflated ranking. But this has really been the year of the upset special.
The upsets are all over the board.
All over the board, and we'll have to see if that continues. I tell you, Leominster's playing the best basketball I've seen them play in years as a team. Going back a number of years, they've been in the playoffs. But, they're coming together at the right time. They got a nice core of seniors, and I think they want to keep this run going. They got a great feeling about them, and I think that maybe I want to say better things to come, but I don't know how much better it can get. But there's still, I think, 3 wins to raising that trophy up, and the next one's going to be as tough as any of them.
Indeed they will. So a great battle, Malden Catholic and Scituate. Tomorrow, the winner hosts Leominster at a time and date to be determined. We threw out Thursday as a possibility, but I think that is a little too soon, given that everything has been shifted a day or so, depending on which part of the bracket you're playing in and what happened with weather delays throughout the state. So I would think, especially for either 1 or 16, to ask them on a one-day turnaround to come back and play, I think that in a round of 8 would be a difficult, request.
They can play back-to-back.
I was going to say, that's a biased statement. Now.
They're kids.
Yeah, they could, but that's a biased statement.
I
would
say
everybody
involved probably Friday.
Saturday certainly looks like a more likely
time to
situation.
Regroup.
And, of course, this is the round of 8.
Coach up for the next team.
8 best teams will be alive at the conclusion of that game tomorrow night.
What it is.
See where it feels.
Elite 8.
It is.
And Blue Devils deserve to be one of those 8 teams right now.
They certainly have demonstrated they are elite in this postseason run right now. We hope to have that action for you here on RFM. We will await the kind of where the dominoes will fall, and we'll see how we can work that out. We certainly do hope to be there for that contest in the Elite Eight. And to that note, by the way, we cannot say thank you enough to the great folks led by Jack Tolman and the folks at Norwood Community Media for their assistance tonight. This broadcast does not happen without their technical support in helping us get on the air. Bill Thomas, they even came in on a Sunday in order to make sure this drop was active for us. On a short turnaround in this tournament, that's how things go. That kind of support and courtesy and assistance, I can't tell you how invaluable it is, especially when you're at a statewide perspective and you're working with folks for the first time. Can't thank them enough for their support and assistance. And of course, the great folks here in the athletic department and as well here at Norwood in a beautiful facility. They really have invested well in what is a great night.
I couldn't agree more, Todd, and MIA and other schools take note. Be welcoming is all I will say, and we'll give you some great coverage.
And we thank the folks here for their phenomenal support tonight. Leominster is a winner, 74-50. They advance to the Elite Eight. More information to come. YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitch. Like, follow, and subscribe when the action goes live. It finds you. What better way to play in the world of digital media? And you want updates on what's going on schedule-wise? We try to amalgamate all those great resources out there across Massachusetts and put them to you at Media Rivalry on Twitter. We'll also have our schedule update as to what comes next for us. And we hope, Bill Thomas, it's not in the spring. So action continues.
Hey, we know we got one more game
on RFM.
With any kind of luck.
Indeed we do.
Nothing's guaranteed.
For Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and the rest of the RFM family, we say thank you so very much for spending a couple of hours of your night as part of our family and this win here tonight. Leominster a winner, 74-50, the final score. Until next round, we say so long, everybody.